Rapinoe accuses Sophie Cunningham of villainizing trans girls as she weighs in on WNBA controversy. Rapinoe has waded into the storm engulfing the WNBA and accused Sophie Cunningham of villainizing trans girls. Indiana Fever star Cunningham sparked a fierce debate within sports when she recently claimed she wants to protect young girls from biological men. Cunningham's comments have divided commentators and fans, and even her peers. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve wore a Trans Kids Belong t-shirt during a recent game against Indiana, while Golden State Valkyries star Gabby Williams claimed she would happily welcome a trans player onto her team. Now U.S. soccer legend Rapinoe, who is rarely afraid to discuss off-field topics, has joined in the criticism of Cunningham's views. If anybody is taking these talking points as legit or believing they're protecting young girls in sports, I just have to ask, are you serious? Rapinoe said on her podcast, "Why are you like this?" Rapinoe, who has previously clashed publicly with President Trump, took particular issue with Cunningham posing for a photo with political activist Riley Gaines, who is one of the most prominent critics of transgender athletes in sports.
Tired of spending forever chopping vegetables? This all-in-one prep tool dices and spiralizes ingredients directly into a handy container, helping make salads, sides, and meal prep faster and less messy. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/2 right now.
Sophie Cunningham recently claimed she wants to protect young girls from biological men. U.S. soccer legend Rapinoe has accused Cunningham of villainizing trans girls. She took particular issue with Cunningham posing for a photo with activist Riley Gaines L. "I don't know Sophie, so I can only project what I see about her beliefs based on her actions," Rapinoe said. "And seeing a picture of her with Riley Gaines after the game told me everything I need to know about what's happening." Riley Gaines has made it her life's mission to exclude trans people from public life. Rapinoe claimed Gaines is directly tied to the Heritage Foundation, which claims to be a research and educational institution whose mission is to build and promote conservative public policies. The U.S. soccer legend continued. They have now published a report that suggests that they want to repeal Title IX, the very piece of legislation that allowed athletes like Sophie and myself to compete in sports. Title IX bans sex-based discrimination in education programs and activities that receive federal financial assistance, ensuring equal sporting opportunities for female athletes. Cunningham recently said, "When it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. That's why you have Title IX. If Title IX women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport, but I have never once stated that I hated the trans community." Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve wore a Trans Kids Belong t-shirt on the sidelines. Rapinoe took issue with Cunningham, claiming both to love trans people and support Title IX, adding, "This is where I think the accountability with having a major platform is extremely important," she continued. "You can hear it, even in the language being used, that the root of trans exclusion is to protect young girls from men. To be clear, I would love to have that conversation, and it's much needed in this country. But it frames the conversation as if we're protecting young girls from men being in WNBA locker rooms. It villainizes trans girls as if they're somehow magically older than their peers or are men, when in reality they are also young girls. These laws are excluding kids from playing youth sports. If we want to have a conversation around elite sports, there are effective policies that have been in place for many years that no one noticed because they worked.